Do you know what makes the strongest people in the world irresistible? It's not their looks, not their fame, not their charm. It's their silence. Yes, silence. Because silence is not weakness, darling. It is the language of power. When you are silent, you are not empty, you are full. Full of mystery, full of patience, full of unspoken dreams. And when the world tries to break you, your silence will scream louder than their noise. While others are busy explaining, complaining, full of sadness, full of unspoken, full of pain, full of pain, full of pain, full of pain, reacting. The silent ones are building empires, manifesting desires, and shaping destiny. So here's the truth you never hear in a world addicted to attention. Stay silent, and you will get everything you ever desired. Power, peace, success, love, and more. Because silence is not the absence of words, it is the presence of self-control, of focus, of strength. The universe listens carefully to the quiet ones and rewards them heavily. Are you ready to be that person? Are you ready to let your silence make all the noise? Silence makes you mysterious, and mystery attracts everything. It's not just a saying, it's a truth you can see every day, in every corner of life. Think about it. Who is the person everyone in the room watches when they walk in? Not the loudest one. Not the one telling all the stories or cracking all the jokes. It's the quiet one sitting calmly in the corner, smiling slightly, eyes watching everything but saying nothing. That person is wrapped in mystery. And mystery is irresistible. People are curious by nature. They want to know more. They lean in. They wonder, what is this person thinking? What secrets are they holding? Why are they so confident in silence? This silent aura makes you attractive without trying. You don't chase attention. Attention comes to you. Look at the world's most admired personalities. The true icons. When they walk on the red carpet or enter a boardroom, they don't speak endlessly. Their eyes speak, their posture speaks, and the world listens. Their mystery becomes their magnet. Even in daily life, the colleague who quietly works with focus, never gossiping, never bragging, ends up being the one the boss notices. Why? Because they're rare. When everyone else is busy making noise, the silent one looks like the valuable diamond in a sea of glass. Imagine standing at a party. Everyone's talking, laughing, oversharing about their lives. But then there's you, smiling, silent, holding your drink, observing. People will get uncomfortable with your quiet power. Someone will ask you, why so quiet? Not because they care, but because your silence disturbs them. It's powerful. It shifts the energy. They want to pull you into the noise to make themselves feel better. But when you remain still, you control the room without lifting a finger. Even in relationships, this truth hits harder than ever. The one who holds back their words, who doesn't reveal everything too soon, becomes the one others chase. A woman who doesn't explain herself to everyone, who doesn't post every detail on social media, who keeps her life private, feels rare, almost royal. People want to know her story. Men wonder, what is she thinking? What does she want? Her mystery builds desire. A man who speaks less, listens more, and gives measured responses. He is seen as valuable, different, hard to read. Mystery makes the world want you, chase you, respect you. Even nature follows this silent principle. The lion in the jungle isn't roaring all day to show power. It walks silently. Its quiet presence terrifies every creature around. Birds fly away, animals freeze, because silence mixed with strength is terrifying and beautiful. Compare that to the barking dog at the gate, loud but harmless. The noisy ones rarely inspire fear or respect. The silent ones, they control without noise. In business, the same rule wins. The entrepreneur who quietly builds, who doesn't announce every plan, shocks the world when they launch something massive. While the others spend their energy showing off ideas on social media, the silent builder was working, growing, winning. Tell her anything, she won't run her mouth. That silent trust turns to influence. Suddenly, that quiet friend holds the keys to power in the group. Because mystery creates value. Children show this instinctively. When a child goes quiet, really quiet, every parent stops and wonders, what's happening? What are they doing? Silence demands attention. It pulls focus. It makes people stop what they're doing. Even without words, the silent one changes the room. This is not emptiness. This is fullness without sound. Silence is not the absence of noise. It is the presence of deeper awareness. When you speak less, you allow the world to unfold before you like an open book. You start seeing things that others miss because their mouths are busy while their eyes and ears are shut. The moment you choose to hold your tongue, you begin to sharpen your senses. Like sitting in a coffee shop, sipping slowly, while the whole room chatters around you. If you stay silent, you can read every mood, every conversation, every hidden glance that others overlook. The woman at the corner table, nervously checking her phone. The couple faking smiles. The friend group where one person feels left out but hides it behind forced laughter. You notice because you are not busy trying to impress, you are busy watching, absorbing, learning. Think about arguments. Most people rush to speak, defend, fight back. But those who remain quiet, really quiet, hear the truth hiding beneath the noise. When you argue with someone and stop speaking, just watching their words, their body language, suddenly you see their fear, their insecurity, their lies. Your silence forces them to fill the space with truth they didn't plan to reveal. You realize how quickly people expose themselves when you don't interrupt. Their eyes shift, their hands shake, their voice cracks. Your silence makes you the master of the moment. In relationships, this inner power becomes priceless. Imagine sitting across from someone you like or love. Instead of talking endlessly, trying to win their heart with words, you stay calm, gentle, smiling. You let the silence stretch. Suddenly they feel the urge to speak, to impress you, to fill the quiet with their thoughts. You become the prize, the rare one. They lean in because you are different. You are not begging to be understood. You are not desperate to be liked. You simply are. And that is dangerously attractive. The more you listen, the more they reveal. You learn their fears, their dreams, their weaknesses, without ever asking. Your quiet patience becomes your weapon. Even at work, this inner strength works miracles. In a meeting room full of loud voices trying to dominate, your silence makes people uncomfortable, in the best way. When you finally speak, everyone listens, because they waited. They respect the one who saves words for the right moment. You hear every detail the others miss. You see who is faking confidence, who is unsure, who is pretending to know what they don't. Your silence makes you wiser than the loudest person in the room. Wisdom does not shout, it whispers, and only the silent can hear it. In friendship, this power shines bright. The friend who listens deeply, quietly, without judgment, becomes the one everyone trusts. When your friend cries, you don't rush to fix them with words. You sit, you stay silent, you let them pour their heart out. And in that silence, they feel safe, they feel healed. Because silence is not emptiness, it is space. Space for truth, space for feelings, space for reality to be seen. This is how you become unforgettable, by giving what no one else gives. Pure, patient presence. Even when you are alone, silence builds you. Walking alone in nature, sitting in your room without your phone, driving in silence, this is where your soul speaks. Ideas rise, visions appear, problems solve themselves. You hear the whispers of your own destiny. Noise kills this inner voice. But silence feeds it, grows it, makes it louder in your mind. This is how leaders are born. Not in noise, but in quiet moments of deep self-connection. And what about handling betrayal or heartbreak? The strongest response is no response. Silence becomes your shield. When someone hurts you, and you don't lash out, don't explain, don't break, you win. Let two last. You break, you win. You shouldn't react. You shouldn't react. You win. They expect anger, tears, drama, but you give them nothing but silence. And that shakes them to the core. They realize they no longer have power over you. Your silence says, I have risen above this. You are no longer worth my energy. And that is the highest form of strength. Silence is the sharpest sword you can ever carry. The greatest revenge you can ever give. Because when you become silent, you rob people of the attention they crave, the explanation they expect, the drama they desire. And nothing breaks a person more than not knowing what you feel, what you think, or what you will do next. Imagine someone insulting you in public, expecting you to snap, to scream, to lose control. But you stay silent. You look them in the eye, smile softly, and walk away. That moment will burn in their memory forever because they didn't win. They wanted to provoke you, to drag you into their chaos. But your silence defeated them without a single word. That quietness becomes the slap they never expected. Think about relationships. When someone you loved cheats, lies, betrays you, they expect rage, screaming, endless text asking why. But when you go silent, no calls, no messages, no explanations, they crumble inside. They check their phone every minute. They wait for that angry outburst that never comes. And this haunts them. Your silence becomes a mirror reflecting their guilt, their cowardice, their failure. You do not chase. You do not beg. You do not explain. You simply disappear into silence, and they are left drowning in regret. This is revenge, more painful than words can ever deliver. Even in friendships, silence becomes your secret weapon. When a friend turns fake, betrays you, talks behind your back, they expect drama when the truth comes out. But if you remain calm, quiet, unbothered, refusing to give them any reaction, the guilt eats them alive. Every time they see you smile peacefully as if they meant nothing, they feel small. They realize they lost someone who was real, someone valuable, and you didn't even bother to tell them. Your silence becomes a crown on your head. They gossip, they apologize, they explain, but you are already gone, not in body but in mind. You have left without slamming the door. The quiet exit is the loudest goodbye. At work, silence breaks egos. When a colleague disrespects you in front of others, expecting a verbal fight, and you stay silent, letting your calmness speak for you, they lose. Their attack looks pathetic. Their anger feels foolish. Everyone around sees who is composed and who is weak. Later, when you deliver excellent work or win praise without saying a word, that silence becomes the ultimate revenge. You didn't argue, you proved. Your silence said, I am not at your level. And that is far more cutting than any comeback could ever be. Even in family disputes, this truth stands tall. When relatives insult, mock, or doubt you, waiting for you to break down or defend yourself, but you simply smile and serve tea or walk away, they are left burning with confusion. They talk about you behind closed doors, guessing what you think, what you plan, but you reveal nothing. Your silence makes them restless. It becomes a mystery they can't solve, a punishment they can't escape. You are there but unreachable, present but untouchable. They wanted noise, you gave them peace. And peace is more terrifying to the guilty than anger ever was. On social media too, silence is revenge. When people post indirect messages, try to provoke you online, spread lies, and you post nothing, comment nothing, ignore everything, they lose power. Their followers see their desperation. You remain silent and graceful. You show the world that their words are dust, unable to touch you. This silence destroys more than 1,000 replies could. Because when you don't react, you show that you are already above them. Even with your ex, silence becomes legendary. After a breakup, when you stop posting sad stories, stop updating your life to make them jealous, and instead go quiet, building yourself, shining silently, they feel the void. What is she thinking? Has she moved on? Is she happy without me? These thoughts haunt them endlessly. Your silence keeps them locked in regret, wondering, forever. You gave no explanation, no last text, no closure. And this lack of closure is the cruelest revenge of all. Silence is not just the absence of words. It is the medicine your soul has been begging for. In the noise of life, where everyone is shouting opinions, screaming for attention, chasing validation, silence becomes the place where you finally hear yourself. It is in silence that broken hearts begin to heal. When you sit quietly after heartbreak, with no phone in hand, no distractions, and just your own breathing to accompany you, you realize something powerful. You are still here. You are alive. The pain is loud at first, but the longer you stay in silence, the more the hurt softens. You stop replaying the betrayal. You stop thinking of the rejection. In the quiet, your heart whispers truths that the world never allowed you to hear. You are enough. You are worthy. You are free. In that moment, healing begins, not from anyone else's words, but from your own silence. Think of a time when life crushed you. A failed exam, a lost job, a friendship that turned fake. You wanted to scream, to tell the world how unfair life was. But the moment you chose silence instead, sat down with a cup of tea by the window, watching the sky without speaking, you felt the weight lift slowly from your shoulders. You saw the bigger picture. You remembered that life moves on, that this failure is not the end. In silence, clarity appears like sunlight breaking through fog. Your mind stops racing. Your soul starts breathing. And peace flows in like a gentle river, washing away bitterness, anger, and fear. Even in relationships, silence saves you. When you are tired of explaining yourself, tired of being misunderstood, you finally realize the magic of being quiet. You stop trying to prove your worth to those who cannot see it. You stop defending your choices to people who were never meant to understand your journey. In that silence, you return to yourself. You reclaim your power. You begin to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. And as you rise in this quiet confidence, the right people are drawn to your energy. The ones who value depth over drama. The ones who respect your boundaries, your peace, your vibe. The wrong ones drift away. Not because you pushed them, but because they cannot survive in the atmosphere of your calm. At work, silence brings wisdom and focus. While others rush to speak in meetings, eager to impress bosses with empty words, you remain quiet, listening deeply. You observe the real dynamics, the hidden truths behind the corporate smiles. You see who is genuine, who is insecure, who is playing dirty. Your silence protects you from making foolish promises, from revealing your dreams too soon. You work silently on your goals, planting seeds no one can see. And when the time is right, your success blooms so brightly that the world cannot ignore it. All because you stayed silent, focused, and strong when it mattered most. In friendships too, silence guides you. When friends hurt you with careless words or neglect you in your time of need, your first instinct is to react, to confront, to explain. But when you choose silence instead, you let truth unfold naturally. You see who reaches out, who notices your absence, who cares without being told. Silence separates the real from the fake. It reveals what noise could never show. And in this revelation, you protect your soul from false bonds. You keep your energy clean for those who truly deserve it. Even alone in your room, silence transforms you. When you turn off the music, put down the phone, close the book, and just sit, alone with your thoughts, you begin to hear your true self. You realize how far you've come. You feel grateful for the strength that carried you through storms. You start to dream again, but not the noisy dreams of the world, the quiet dreams of your own heart. In this silence, new ideas are born. New visions come alive. The universe responds to this inner peace by sending you the right people, the right moments, the right opportunities. Your energy shifts. And because energy attracts energy, your silence becomes a magnet for all that your soul truly needs. Silence is the secret weapon of the truly confident. When you stop feeling the need to explain yourself, to justify your choices, to seek permission from the world, you start standing in your true power. You no longer run after approval because you understand this simple truth. You do not owe the world an explanation for your life. When you choose silence in moments when others expect answers, you are not showing weakness. You are showing unshakable strength. Picture standing in a room where everyone is questioning your decisions. Why did you leave that job? Why aren't you married yet? Why did you end that friendship? And instead of defending, you smile gently and stay quiet. That moment belongs to you. Your silence says, louder than words, I don't need your validation. I trust my journey. And that silent confidence makes people sit up. They feel your power without you ever having to raise your voice. At the workplace, this kind of silence is rare and priceless. When your colleagues rush to interrupt meetings, desperate to prove their worth, you stay silent, waiting for the right moment. You listen deeply, you watch carefully, you measure the room. And when you finally speak, after long, thoughtful silence, your words hit like arrows. Everyone listens. Because you are not the person who speaks just to fill the air. You are the one who speaks when it matters. Your silence makes your words golden. While others deplete their value by talking too much, You increase yours by knowing when to stay quiet. Confidence sharpens this way, not in shouting, but in knowing you don't have to. In arguments, silence becomes a higher form of strength. When someone insults you, mocks you, tries to provoke a reaction, your silence leaves them powerless. They expect anger. They expect tears. But you give them nothing. You look into their eyes, calm and unshaken, and let their words hang useless in the air. In that silence, they begin to doubt themselves. Did they go too far? Did they lose control? Your silence reflects their weakness, not yours. And the world sees it too. It is the person who controls their tongue who controls the room. And that control is the loudest display of confidence. In relationships, this silent confidence is beautiful. When you love someone deeply, but they fail to see your worth, when they try to make you jealous or play games, silence becomes your sword and shield. You do not beg, you do not explain, you do not chase. This quietness disturbs them more than tears or fights ever could. Because your silence says, I know what I deserve. And if you can't see it, that's your loss. You rise in value by not lowering your energy. And they feel it, they miss it. They realize you are rare. And rare things do not scream for attention. Even on social media, silence is the boldest statement. When others rush to post every detail of their life, their sadness, their victories, their opinions, you stay silent. You keep your life private. You keep your growth hidden. And because people cannot figure you out, you become intriguing, mysterious, powerful. They wonder what you're doing, who you're becoming, where you're going, and you reveal nothing. This silence sharpens your confidence because you no longer need the applause. You no longer need the likes or the comments. You are growing in silence. And when you are ready, the world will see the results, not the process. Even with family, this confidence shows. When relatives gossip about your choices, pressure you to explain your path, you smile, remain calm, and stay silent. You do not defend your dreams. You do not argue your worth. Because you know that confidence is not proven by shouting. It is proven by results. And your silent strength whispers, wait and see. You are busy becoming what they said you could not be. And that journey requires no words, only action. In friendships too, silence is the ultimate proof of self-worth. When a friend betrays you, lies to you or disrespects you, your silence is your closure. You do not send long messages trying to explain your pain. You do not beg them to understand. You withdraw quietly, completely, and they are left to deal with the emptiness you leave behind. This silent exit speaks of confidence, the kind that says, I deserve better, and I will find it without you. Your silence does what 1,000 words never could. Silence is not weakness. It is not surrender. It is the calm before the most unstoppable storm. Silence is the quiet preparation before the grand arrival. When you stay silent, you are not avoiding life. You are observing it, learning it, mastering its every detail. Like the archer pulling the string back, holding their breath, focusing, you wait, not because you are afraid, but because you know the moment to release the arrow must be perfect. And when it finally flies, it never misses. Silence gives you this gift, the patience to strike only when the world is ready to be shocked by your move. Think about the tiger in the jungle. It does not roar all day to announce its presence. It moves in silence. Its paws touch the ground softly, its eyes fixed on the prey. The whole jungle sleeps while the tiger watches. And when the right moment comes, it leaps. One perfect move, one deadly strike, and victory is certain. That's how life rewards those who embrace silence. The noisy ones, those who rush, who brag, who show off too soon, burn out fast. But the silent ones, they wait, they watch, they rise. In business, this secret wins the game. The entrepreneur who doesn't reveal every plan on social media, who keeps dreams close to the chest, who works in silence while others make noise, is the one who launches a company that stuns the world. While others waste energy trying to be seen too soon, the silent builder becomes unstoppable in the background. They prepare, they improve, they gather strength, and when they finally launch, no one can ignore them. Their silence wasn't failure, it was the sharpening of a sword no one saw coming. Even in relationships, silence prepares you. When someone breaks your trust, you don't need to fight back with angry words. You go quiet. You step back. You reflect. You grow stronger in the silence. And then one day, you walk away. Not with tears, not with drama, but with a calm, powerful smile that says, I am done. That is the perfect strike. The moment when they realize they lost someone irreplaceable. Not because you screamed, but because you stayed silent until you were gone forever. The silent ones make the loudest exits. In personal growth, silence is the breeding ground of transformation. When you go quiet, shutting off the world's distractions, walking alone, sitting with your own thoughts, you begin to see your life with new eyes. You see what must change, what must end, what must begin. And when you've gathered all your strength in the quiet, you make your move. You change careers, you move to a new city, you start that business, you release that book. And the world says, where did this come from? But you know, it came from silence, from waiting, from the perfect moment to strike. Even in friendship, silence protects you. When people doubt you, gossip about you, predict your failure, you do not fight their words. You do not argue. You remain silent, working on your dreams, building, improving, and then one day, you rise. You succeed, and their mouths close forever. Your silence made the victory sweeter, because they never saw you coming. You didn't warn them. You didn't prove anything in words. You let your success do the talking. The silent ones always surprise the world with their perfect timing. In health and fitness, this truth appears again. The person who trains in silence, eats healthy in private, improves their body without posting daily gym selfies, suddenly appears transformed, slimmer, stronger, glowing. And everyone asked, how did this happen? It happened in silence. While others were showing off their temporary efforts, the silent one was preparing. And when the right moment came, the reveal was unstoppable. Even in revenge, silence wins. When someone wrongs you, betrays you, underestimates you, and you stay silent, they expect weakness. But in your silence, you are building strength, learning, planning, and when your time comes, you rise, powerful and unbreakable. They see the new you, the version they can no longer touch, and your silent revenge burns forever in their memory, sharper than any angry word could. Silence is the training ground of kings and queens, warriors and legends. The secret space where victory is born, long before the world sees it. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is not loneliness. Silence is not weakness. It is the place where the soul becomes a warrior. In this noisy world where everyone rushes to speak, to prove, to scream for attention, the rare ones, the powerful ones, are those who master the art of silence. Because in silence, you don't lose. You win the invisible battles. You sharpen your sword without anyone watching. You prepare for the day when your light will explode so brightly that no eye can ignore it. The world fears the quiet ones. Why? Because they are unpredictable, dangerous, mysterious. They are the ones who don't show their cards, who don't tell their secrets, who don't waste energy on words. They save it all for action. Listen carefully, because this is the truth no one dares to tell you. The most life-changing moves, the most shocking transformations, the most unforgettable comebacks, they all happen in silence. While others laugh at you, doubt you, gossip about you, you stay silent, you stay calm, you stay focused. Because your silence is not weakness, it's loading. Like a volcano waiting beneath the surface, like the ocean before the storm. Your silence holds power that no one can measure. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe anyone your energy. The lion does not roar in hunger. It waits. It watches. It chooses the right moment to strike. And when it does, the jungle shakes. Do you know why the world runs after those who stay silent? Because they carry mystery. And mystery creates desire. The world desires what it cannot understand. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop seeking validation, when you stop reacting to every word, you rise. You become the person everyone secretly fears, secretly admires, secretly wonders about. You walk into a room and change the energy without speaking. Your vibe announces you before your words ever can. And that is real power. That is the glow of silence. Because the one who can master silence has mastered life itself. Even God, the creator of the universe, works in silence. When He plans your blessings, when He shapes your future, when He prepares your miracles, the world hears nothing. No sound, no warning. And then suddenly the impossible happens. That is the way of greatness. The seed grows silently beneath the soil before it breaks the earth and touches the sky. The diamond forms in darkness before it dazzles the world with light. The greatest things are born in silence, and so are you. When you learn to remain silent, you start hearing what others miss. You see the truth behind smiles, the lies behind words, the weakness behind pride. You gain the power to choose your battles, to walk away when small minds try to pull you down. Your silence screams, "I'm above this," and that scream is louder than any argument you could ever make. Those who try to harm you, to break you, to doubt you, they feel that scream. They feel the emptiness you leave behind. Because when you stop speaking, they lose control. You are no longer playing their game. You have risen beyond it. Remember this forever. When you are silent, you are preparing. You are collecting wisdom, strength, focus. You are letting life shape you into something unstoppable. And when the time comes, when the time comes, the world will see a version of you they never imagined. A stronger you, a brighter you. A version that speaks not in words, but in actions. So loud that no one can deny your greatness. Let them wonder. Let them wait. Let them whisper. You owe them nothing but the shock of your success. Because the lion does not turn when the small dogs bark. Because the queen does not answer when the crowd screams. Because the eagle does not fight the crows. It rises above the storm. And you are the silence that will shake the world.